Okay, well, welcome back to another session of notes. And today we're looking at 4.3 rotations. It's the third of the transformations that we're looking at. So we looked at, first of all, translations, which was like just basically a slide. And then we looked at reflections, which is like flipping it over. And today we're looking at rotations, which is going to be like a turn. And I'll show you in a little bit what our reward system is going to be. Okay, so as we look at this, a rotation is a turn around a fixed point called the center. The center of rotation. The figure rotates at a specific angle and direction. Now, though the figure can rotate around any fixed point, the most common center of rotation is the origin. And that's really where we're going to focus on today, is when we're rotating or turn something around the origin. So we still have the concept of the pre-image and the image. So the pre-image would be like this triangle ABC. And we are basically turning it and rotating it so that it becomes like that right over there. So it is going to, I can't really simulate it from this software, but turning it about this point turns it right over there. Okay? Okay. Now, just like we did for the last two, we have some rules that will help us define what we're doing and help us to work out the problems. So we're going to rotate about the origin. So a capital R is used for a rotation. So, and then this is 90 degrees counterclockwise. So these are all counterclockwise. So rotation of 90 follows this rule. You take your x and y values and you trade their places and you change the sign of the y. So you have xy and it changes to negative yx. So you can see an example of that. It was right here and it rotated over there 90 degrees in a counterclockwise fashion. And so this is how we can write what that changes, the rule for that. Now if we do 180 degree rotation, the rule for that one is you take your xy and you just change the sign of each. XY becomes negative X, negative Y. So again, going counterclock. This one, for 180, it doesn't matter which way you go, counterclockwise or clockwise. But so we would turn this way, so it would become right over there. This is if you had like a button right there or something holding it, and you could turn it, it would rotate into that direction right there. Okay, now the last one is a rotation of 270 degrees. This is 90, this is 180, so 270 would be all the way around to there. The rule that we follow for that one is xy is y negative x. Okay, again, everything changes. I mean, the x and y trade spots, and we change the sign of the x. So counterclockwise is the normal rotation. And hopefully you remember that because, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Hopefully you remember that from Algebra 1 and from pre-algebra, and anytime you learn to plot, you have those, and they always go in a counterclockwise position. Okay, so those are our rules. All right, let's jump into some problems, but before we do that, let's give you a just good old classic SpongeBob. All right, and we'll do some more in a little bit, but yeah, I couldn't find a Mr. Krabs, so I'll have to try to dig one of those up if you really want me to later. But this was at some students requested SpongeBob, so there you go. Okay, now on this first one, number 1, they give us the points for our triangle, and they want us to do a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. Okay, so remember the counterclockwise is going to be this rule right here. I mean the 90 rotation, 90-degree rotation is we take the xy and it becomes negative yx. So I'm just going to bring that rule down here. Xy, we change it to negative yx, like that. So we have our points. I'm going to jot those down here. You don't have to do this part, but A is 2, 7, B is 6, 5, and C is 4, 1. Okay, so now that when I scroll down, I can see that easier. So following the rule, A prime is going to be negative 7, 2. B prime is going to be negative 5, 6. And then C is going to be negative 1, 4. Like that. So then we have to plot our pre-image and our image. So our pre-image is at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's our A. B is at 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 5. So there is B right there. And then if we look at C, C is at 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like that right there is C. All right, so then we have that triangle right there. So that's our pre-image. So then our image is going to follow the A prime, B prime, C prime. So that's going to be negative 7, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then up 2. And so that's our A prime. And then B is at negative 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's your B prime. And then C prime is at negative 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so our triangle was turned to look like that. So if you can kind of look with me at our points, the A prime, it was turned to where it came down all the way right there. B followed the same kind of trajectory right there, and C also followed that same kind of thing. But so the whole shape was rotated or turned to look like that. Okay. I'm going to get rid of those. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and do number 2 on your own, and then we'll come back and see how you did on that. Okay, so if you got number 2 done, it should look something like this, where you connect And so we took the pre-image, the PQRS, and we rotated it around the origin 180 degrees, and it's down here. So hopefully you followed that rule and you got that done. Okay, let's keep going. Before we move on, let's give you, how about a Patrick right here? You love Patrick. All right. Okay. Now, so if we look at number 3, we're just going to do another one to practice with. This one is doing 270 degrees counterclockwise. So what is the rule for counterclockwise? For counterclockwise, xy becomes y negative x, like that. So j is 3, 4, so applying the rule, j prime becomes 4, negative 3, right? Because you switch those and change the sign of the x. So k becomes 4, negative 6, like that. And then L prime is 1, negative 8. And then M prime is 1, negative 1, like that. So we're going to plot these points. So J is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then K is 6, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4. And then L is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, like that. And what do we have left? M is at 1, 1, like that. Sorry, I forget, I didn't label those. So that's K, and this is L, and that's M right there. And so this is a trapezoid, so it looks like that. Now we're going to apply the rotation. So we're turning this whole thing 270 degrees, so it's going to be over here when we turn it. But you can imagine turning that, so it's going to be oriented like a different direction when we plot this. So when we do J prime, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, J prime, and then K is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's K prime down there. And then we have L prime, which is at 1, negative 8, which is way down there. So that's L prime. And then M prime is 1, negative 1. So there is your M prime. So this is that same trapezoid. It's just been turned. It's been rotated to look like that. Okay? So I know this is not super difficult. It's just a little tedious. So I want you to do number let's have you do, let's see, number 5. Let's have you do number 5. Okay? So I'm going to pause the video. So I want you to pause the video and try number 5 on your own, and then we'll come back and see how you did. Okay, so on number 5, this is what you should have gotten. Remember that we are using the we are using the counterclockwise rule right here. So we change to y equals negative x. So these should be all of your new correct points. And then when you plot it, here's your C prime, D prime, E prime, F prime. And we're rotating it counterclockwise 270 degrees like that. Okay, let's give you, how about a glowing SpongeBob right there. Isn't that fantastic? I hope you're loving the SpongeBob theme rewards today. Okay. Now, what I want to do at this point is go to the bottom of page 3, and we're going to look at clockwise examples. Remember, our regular way that we move through our graph is clockwise, right? So clockwise is, counterclockwise is the normal way. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So the normal way to move through our quadrants is counterclockwise. But we also sometimes have clockwise when we have to go kind of the opposite way from normal. So the opposite way from normal is is clockwise, which is going this direction this time, 1, 4, 3, 2, that direction. But we don't have to learn new rules. We just have to think about how to use the rules that we already have. So what happens is, if we're going to move, let's say, and this is the way we write it, if we have a rotation that is going, now we write negative 90, but that means clockwise, right? So clockwise is the opposite from the normal way, so we say negative 90. Well, going negative 90, like this direction right here, is the same as going our regular direction, which is counterclockwise, 270. So the rule for negative 90 is the same as the rule for positive 270. So if I go 90 degrees this direction, it would be the same as 270 degrees the other direction. So either way I do this, I would end up in quadrant 4. If I go negative 90, which is clockwise 90, or if I go counterclockwise 270, I would always end up over there. So then if we think about, what if I did a rotation of negative 270? Well, that's going to use the same rule as a rotation of positive 90. So remember, these over here would be just our regular direction of counterclockwise. That's what these two are over here. Okay, so if you're going clockwise, which is going to be notated as negative 90, use the 270 rule. Or if it's clockwise of 270, you use the counterclockwise 90 rule. So let's do a couple of examples with that. So on number 13, if we do we're going 90 degrees clockwise. So 90 degrees clockwise, that's going to be, R negative 90, which uses the same rule as the rule we have for 270, just the positive 270. So that rule is XY will change to the 270 rule is Y comma negative X, like that. Okay, so my L prime is going to be 5, negative 1, right? Because you switch it but change the sign of the X. So then M would be 8, negative 3, and N would be 1, -8, like that. Okay, because you have to follow that rule to put those there. Okay, so now let's plot our points. Let's do the pre-image. So we're at 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. And then M is at 1, 2, 3, and then 8. So M is way up there. And then N is at 8, 1. So here's N way over there. So here's our pre-image. All right. So then we do our image after we've rotated it. Right. We're going to rotate it right down here. So that's 5, -1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's L prime. So then we have M prime is at 8, -3, 1, 2, 3. So there's M prime. Then N prime is at 1, -8, way down here, like that. And so that rotates it this direction right there. Okay? So we rotated it in the negative direction. The clock in graphing, clockwise is negative. So we're going that direction right there. So everything made that turn. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and try number 14 on your own, and then you can come back and see how you did. Okay, so hopefully you had a chance to get that done. So you should have used this rule. Remember, our -270 would use the same rule as R90. So the R90, rotation of 90, is -yx. So these would be your new points, and that would be how it all is rotated. So it went 270 in the counterclockwise direction, which is the same as just 90 in the regular counterclockwise direction. So that should have been what you got on that. So I'm hoping that you did. All right. Good job today. Let's give you another Patrick, one of his classic faces right there. And then we got, let's do one more, SpongeBob, you know, with his He-Man weightlifter kind of, you know, position that I don't remember which episode that is from, but I thought that was a fun look at SpongeBob. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you later.